Battlefield friends and fans, welcome back to a little bit more Battlefield 4. Well, that's what we're playing right now because we don't have access to Battlefield 1 yet, but it's only like 19 days, or at least for me, because I ordered that edition where you get access on the 18th. I'm sure most people do because it's worth it, you know, if you get access as soon as you can. I cannot wait. And back to Battlefield 4 here. This is Zavod, as you all know. I love this map. Whenever I see this map coming up on the server browser, I try to get into one of those matches that are on Zavod. Sometimes I get in and there's only 2 minutes left, or there's nothing left, and that's always disappointing. And here I got in and it already had started. I don't know how many minutes they were already in the game. But I could see that the game was already super tight, and the whole match we were always like, there was always a difference between 20 or 30 points between the two teams. Sometimes we were ahead and sometimes they were ahead, but always just by about 20 to 30 points. It was super tight, and the reason I wanted to kind of post this video is because I noticed something. And that is that, you know, since they gave away all those free DLCs, and I think actually the main game was free too, or super cheap at one point, there are so many noobs now in this game. So many new players, people that never played Battlefield before. They're good in shooter games though, as I noticed, but they are new to the maps, which means, you know, when you're not so familiar with maps in any shooter game, you just can't do as well as someone who knows every nook and cranny of a map, because you get surprised from corners you didn't even know existed, and you may also not be aware of flanking routes, so you're not as effective. And the problem with that is this new phenomena that we have now, that there are so many new players playing against so many old veterans that have been playing hundreds and hundreds or thousands of hours in this game, is that sometimes you end up in a team that's made up almost entirely of noobs, and maybe you are lucky and you have another veteran with you playing, and you two guys are just trying to capture all the flags, while the noobs are pretty much running around like chicken with their heads cut off. And so you don't really have any protection from your team. You're kind of by yourself, and then you get killed a lot more because you feel like, you know, your team has your back in many cases, and they just don't, because they just get killed right in front of your eyes, and then you're by yourself when you have 3 or 4 guys coming at you. So that's a lot. I've noticed that the match has changed a lot since, you know, maybe like the past like year or so, a year ago I would say, where I played a lot. And it was so much different, where everyone was kind of equally skilled. And now it's just been shifting so much that the matches have become a lot more, sometimes frustrating, but sometimes also a lot more intense. And I don't know what's going on, but I mean, the game is still a ton of fun to play, don't get me wrong. And like this match, for example, was super awesome because I love matches where both teams are about equally skilled or equally intense, strong, so that it's a constant back and forth, and it makes the matches super interesting. It gets super boring when you're in a match where, you know, one team is super underpowered and the other team is just completely dominating, and you just kind of like right at the beginning of the match just feel like there's no way we have a chance, there is no way, and you just want to like back out and say, you know, screw it, I'm gonna get out, I just leave the match. But for me, it's like, I just have this ambition of wanting to win, wanting to do well, and so many times I was wrong, where I was actually didn't see any hope at the beginning, and then all of a sudden it was like, wow, look at that, we actually turned the match around. Oh, you were wrong, you had a few noobs that you thought they're probably gonna do bad, and it ended up doing super good, and a lot of noobs are doing better than I do, and I've played, I don't know, 2,000 hours I put into this game. I don't even know. I stopped counting really. But yeah, it's just crazy, you know. I mean, I can't get enough of this map. This map is just super fun. How could I have missed this guy? Sometimes I wonder, you shoot an RPG at someone, the blast alone should just take them out. I mean, it's crazy when you just think about it. That's just what I expect. If I shoot someone with an RPG and the RPG shell lands next to someone, they still should die. But no, that's not how it happens. But you know, the one thing I'm gonna miss in Battlefield 1, unless they still add that in later, is the counter knife. I love the counter knife here because in so many cases you had someone come at you with a knife and you can just grab their hand and prevent them from actually stabbing you, which is pretty realistic. Like in real life, if someone came after me with a knife, I would definitely want to have a chance where I can grab their arm, or well, maybe not the knife, that's kind of dangerous because you basically would grip the blade and you would cut yourself pretty bad. But I would do something, or try to do something, and hope that I have some kind of a chance to avoid the knife going into my body. But you know, that's the one thing I noticed in Battlefield 1, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I was not seeing any way to do a counter knife. And maybe they thought that was stupid. Maybe they didn't want it in there. Maybe people complained about it and thought it was stupid. If they knife someone, they want to have a confirmed kill. They don't want to be counter knifed. I don't know. There's, you know, I don't know. People always complain about something in this game, and you know, I don't have to say I have never complained, but this is something I feel like it is quite realistic, and why not? You know, why not? Why not do something like that? And even the martyrdom, you know, that they had in Call of Duty, they were complaining about it. But you know, I've heard actually stories from history where people actually, or it's probably mostly the Japanese that did that, were sometimes dropping a grenade when they knew they're gonna die and they had an enemy nearby. They were thinking, well, at least, you know, if I die, I can take an enemy with me. And that's, you know, people got so upset about it, and I can imagine that there were maybe people that got upset about the counter knifing. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, we have like a little bit more than 2 weeks left until Battlefield 1 comes out, and I'm getting more and more excited. And we just had the single player trailer released, and it wasn't so wow. It didn't really show a lot about the single player, but you know, some people were upset about it, but I really don't care because I don't want to have any spoilers yet. I actually want to see as little as possible from the single player. I want to just get the game in my mailbox. I want to go and start and play the single player. That's the first thing I will do, and that's the first thing I always do with every game. I always play the single player first, and then when I'm done with the single player, then I focus on the multiplayer. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.